Welcome to the Guitar Arrangers Podcast, the greatest guitar arrangers podcast in the history of the universe.
Facts. All right, so today we are looking at Gustav Holst's Jupiter. So this is a piece that is part of the Planets suite, and Thomas is going to tell us more about what that means right now.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny because other than, when I arranged the planets a year or two ago, there are no full arrangements of the Jupiter song, and we didn't really want to, make the audience listen to 7 or 8 different full length versions of Jupiter, because it's normally 10 to 15 minutes a piece. So that would be a long time of sitting and listening to the songs. But we're going to be looking at what is the most popular theme, the most popular melody from those arrangements. Really, that's what everybody's so obsessed with, is the Thaxted theme, which I guess is an English traditional sort of song, or at least a poem that I think Holst set it to music. I don't know. We really need the Gustav Holst. We need Christopher Cope with the Gustav Holst Society to join us for the Mars arrangements, or for some of these there's a lot of metal arrangements of the planets too, a lot of full metal arrangements. So he can lay down the history about. Yeah, Christopher Cope, he could better than me lay down the history about this planet stuff and about Gustav Holst and Thaxted. But yes, and it's kind of interesting to see how the Thaxted is a little different than the Jupiter theme in the center of the Jupiter song. So it'll be interesting to see how the versions come out different. But yeah, at the end, we'll watch all these, and at the end, we'll hear the full arrangement, my arrangement of Jupiter. So I'm excited. I'm excited about this.
Very nice. Cool. So what's the deal with this? It's originally written for 2 pianos, and then it was expanded into an orchestral suite by, you can tell me, his Gustav students or something like this?
Yeah, so a lot of people recognize the planets through hearing some of the orchestra music on movies or video games. It's pretty popular in concerts too. It's definitely Holst's most popular work by far, even though Holst has a lot of really awesome choral stuff and a Christmas song that we looked at earlier. Holst, he originally wrote the planets as a piano duo, and it was his doctorate students, his PhD composition students, that helped him kind of orchestrate it out for full orchestra. So yeah, a duo piano version existed first, but definitely the orchestra version is the one that people are most commonly associated with. And there's all kinds of arrangements of it, and I just think it's one of the best pieces ever. It's a whole hour of orchestra music, 7 different parts, 7 movements, each one depicting a different planet. But it's not really about the planets, like the rocky and gaseous orbs floating around in space. It's about the gods. It's about the Roman and Greek gods of the old times. And so in my arrangement of the planets, which took me 3 years to complete, I really tried to make each planet show off a different superpower. But Jupiter is a jack of all trades, and Jupiter has fast stuff in it and slow stuff in it, and it has a little bit of kind of all the other planets into it, which makes sense because Jupiter, whose Greek equivalent is Zeus, is the god of all the Olympians. So yeah, not one to be messed with. He's got bits of all the planets. He's got powers from all of them. And he's also god of the sky, and helped overthrow the evil Titans.
So the main theme we're looking at today, which part of that story do you think it represents? Which part of Jupiter's story? Jupiter's achievements.
I'm not super familiar with all of the exact stories, but I don't know. There's something about when you hear, I don't know, for the Thaxted theme is different for everybody because it is kind of like a slower, sweeter theme. So a lot of people, I think, would be quick to associate it with love, especially considering Jupiter or Zeus's promiscuous nature in the stories. But I don't know, something when I hear that theme, something about that says like triumph to me. It's like you're standing on the top of the mountain and you're going, we did it. So it's a really special theme, and on YouTube the view count reflects that Jupiter is the most popular planet, and I think that part of it is because of that theme, that special Thaxted theme. Although Jupiter is chock full of really cool melodies.
That's interesting. I would have thought Mars was the most popular one. I know all the metal guys like Mars. That's probably the one with all the electric guitar covers.
Yes, there are many electric guitar covers of the Mars. There's many like electric guitar ensemble covers, and even some classical guitar ensemble covers from maybe Japan as of a few years ago. But yeah, there's arrangements of the Thaxted theme for Jupiter. There's a lot of metal arrangements for the whole Jupiter. There's a lot of metal and ensemble arrangements for Mars. And there may be other metal arrangements for some of the other planets, but to my knowledge, there's no full solo guitar arrangement of any of the planets except for, yours truly.
Except for your boy. All right.
Yeah.
So let's check these out. Are we rating these today? What is it? Just scale 1 to 7 or what? What's the deal here?
Oh, yeah, it's gotta be set. I'm glad you mentioned that. It's gotta be 7 for 7 planets. Although Jupiter is the 4th of the planets in the planet suite, which is in geocentric order, not in heliocentric order. But dude, yeah, I'm so hyped.
Thank you for clarifying. I was about to ask that.
Yeah, I know. Tony's always asked me about that heliocentric order. Yeah, the rating system is going to be 1 to 7 lightning bolts, because the lightning bolt is the choice weapon of Jupiter.
All right, let's check them out. So here we have Sean Boothe with the Thaxted theme from Jupiter, the planets. What is this? I vow to thee, my country.
It has many names. I mean, it's kind of I say it's a traditional kind of nationalistic British theme. So yeah, it's a sort of nationalistic anthem. And I guess I never heard this before I saw this video, that it's also known as the Rugby World and Union theme. But I've never been a big rugby guy.
Wow, I didn't know.
Frankly, this sport scares me. Okay, if I ever against anyone, even a middle school rugby team is something to fear. Okay, as a grown man, yeah, those guys could mess you up. I think this is cool because he's got the capo on, and that actually does help because it's in A flat, and so if you put the capo on, it's just in G, so it's a little easier.
Am I hearing some strings there?
Yeah, I feel like I'm hearing strings, yeah.
No, that's not from the capo. That's a really nice acoustic.
It sounds nice too. His tone is really nice. You see him playing a lot of G chords. Oh, added some scales.
Very nice.
This is one of the best ones, out of all of them. I kind of had to look at a peek at all these videos before, if you will. This one is definitely one of the best of all of them. It's pretty, it is convenient that he gets to use the capo, because if you, arrange the whole thing, certainly you would not want a capo on it. In my version, I do it capo-less, but I like this theme, and you can kind of almost tell that he's looking not just at Jupiter, but also just at Thaxted itself, and some of the vocal versions. When you hear that opening theme, you normally hear a reiterated note, bum, 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 bum. But in his version, a lot of times you hear like bum, 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 bum. So you hear like that note longer, and that doesn't happen as much in the actual Jupiter song, but that happens if you listen to vocal versions of Thaxted. That's the lyrics. So I always think that that's super interesting whenever I'm watching these, how much they're inspired by Jupiter and how much they're inspired by the hymn Thaxted.
I see. So what kind of rating would you want to give this one then?
It's so tough. I'm torn between my 6 and my 7 because I almost just want to hear this without the strings, because this guy's tone is freaking awesome. I just want to hear him like play it by himself and see how it sounds. But it is really good. Man, okay, forget it. I'm going full on 7. I already know this one's the best. Okay. I'm going full on 7. This is a pretty good Thaxted arrangement, pretty good Jupiter middle section arrangement. Yeah, it's really nice stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I think I have a history on this podcast of being kind of picky with adding extra instruments. So I am going to stick with 6 on this one. Although I do think that the strings sound great. I think that it would have been really cool to see a solo guitar version on the acoustic guitar like this. I don't know if the strings are going to be involved. I want them to be real musicians, and I would want to see them in the video. Kind of a personal preference thing. It's funny because it's probably more work to make this one, and I give it a lower score than if he had done less work. I would have given him a higher score. I don't know.
I thought another thing he did good on, I thought, was the harmonies. And in some of these other ones, you'll hear that the harmonies have been added to or changed. And I think that this guy stayed really true to the Thaxted spirit and the harmonies and everything. So I'm gonna stick to my 7 out of 7 lightning bolts. This guy is the right hand of Zeus, except no, that can't be true, because the right hand of Zeus is Hermes. Right hand of Jupiter is Mercury. So that would be a different planet. That's another day, guys. Yeah, click here to follow the whole planet playlist. No, we don't even have a planet playlist yet, but when we do,
it's coming.
To see it, it's coming.
You can go check out the previous Gustav Holst episode, the Christmas special. If you're if you're dying for some more Gustav Holst before we do the other planets. Anyway, let's check out the next one here. So this is an old one from 2012, YASUpochiGuitar. I'm sure I pronounced that correctly. This is a classical guitar.
Maybe he's just with an organization that's sponsors the youth of Arizona State University, and the ensemble is called Pochi. You know what I mean? Because it's YASU, Youth Arizona State University.
Or is it like, why would anyone ever go to ASU?
They're going to take our scholarships away retroactively. They'll be like, you never should have had those scholarships. You owe us some money. Now that you made fun of us a little bit in your podcast.
Yeah, they retroactively took our scholarships away. Please join our Patreon below. Donate cryptocurrency to us in the I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, think of it as a scholarship, not a donation.
Yeah. Give us a scholarship now. ASU took ours away for trash talking. All right, let's check this out. Solo nylon string guitar. Well, probably solo. Maybe not.
Yeah, it remains to be seen.
So no capo.
Yeah, so this one's interesting. He's done the opposite. Instead of going to G, he's gone to A. He's added up some little spicy trills.
Lots of rolled chords.
There's some harmonics in there. Oh, there's something a little added in there. Villalobos? The right hand pattern? It seems like it's the exact one.
Oh, it could be.
So that was like a whole sort of compositional variation in the style of Villalobos, like using Jupiter or harmony at the end or something. It's interesting. Yeah. It's sort of his, it's almost like his take on the Jupiter theme rather than Jupiter for classical guitar. It's like YASUpochi's like variations on a theme of Jupiter in a way. Yeah, I think it was kind of cool. I don't know, how much I like it in the Jupiter context, but I could see why you would like it and why you would want to use the Jupiter theme as a basis for doing something like this, like a compositional variation or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think literally just the name of the piece on YouTube is what makes that ending like a little bit weird. But if it had something with variation in the title, then you'd be like, wow, this is awesome. It's really we're being super judgmental just because of the name he chose. I thought the ending pattern was super interesting. It was very cool. I think a lot of people would want to play this, honestly.
Yeah, I want to know if that was inspired by, if that finger pattern is the same in the famous Villalobos Etude.
It's hard to tell from this angle, but it's definitely the same or very similar. Yeah, it might have been the same.
Yeah, it's interesting as well to see how the harmonies are changed, how the melody has changed, how the rhythms are changed. I'd say neither of these videos so far have really captured the exact rhythm. It's funny how they're choosing to do, when they're choosing to do straight rhythms like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and when they're choosing to do dotted rhythms, which is like 1, E2, E3, E4, O1, it's interesting, like when they're choosing to do that, when they're not choosing to do that, because neither case is it lining up with what's original. But I don't know, I don't necessarily mind it, but it'll be interesting going forwards. And again, part of that is just the lyrics. But this guy did a lot more straight rhythms, which is actually closer to how it is in the real one. There's only a few sort of dotted rhythms kind of speckled in there. Yeah, what for a rating?
I think I'm actually gonna say that I think this one should be a 7, because I think that this piece is really cool, and I think people would want to buy this score and play this. And I think that from an arrangement standpoint, it maybe isn't exactly an arrangement, especially the last part, but overall it sounds good and it's really cool. So just for that, I'm going to give it a 7. And I don't know, title it something with variation or something, and then it's perfect.
Yeah.
Or inspired, composition inspired by
composition inspired by YASUpochi. I wonder if it's YASUpochi.
No, I mean, his composition inspired by Jupiter.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's really tough. Certainly I've seen theme and variations pieces with only 1 or 2 variation on them before, so it wouldn't be like that different if you just called it Jupiter with his variation on it.
Jupiter with a variation. Jupiter with coda. I don't know. There's a place for this piece. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It reminds me of Villalobos, or it reminds me of that guy you like. Is it Stepan Rock or is it Steven Rock?
Stepan Rock.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of some of his right hand stuff.
I was just listening to some today, actually.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's very active online. He posts a lot of his new stuff and sketches online, so he's always cool to check out. And you'll see him occasionally in the popular classical guitar groups. But I don't know. I'm pretty torn. I'm gonna say 5 lightning bolts for this one. I wish he was facing the other way so I could see that right hand, see what's going on there. Maybe he's doing a Van Halen thing, like he's turning around before he plays Eruption, so that no one else can steal it. No one else can steal his secrets. But I don't know. Yeah, something about, I think it's the title that does it for me. So yeah, I'm gonna say 5 lightning bolts out of 7. Overall, it's pretty good, and I don't know. It needs some different labeling, but it is definitely stands on its own as a significant piece.
Well, I'll say really quickly, like you mentioned, this camera angle. This is definitely my least favorite camera angle. Don't film your videos like this unless you're trying to hide something. I feel like
you got something to hide.
It makes the guitar look proportionally weird too. Like, it always looks better to shoot down the fretboard towards the right hand versus this like the opposite of that. There's my hot take of the day.
It's very hard to parse out what is and is not an arrangement sometimes, and some things are a mixture of both. In fact, a lot of things are a mixture of both, because even when you're doing an arrangement, some of the changes which you make, the tools that you use to make those changes are compositional tools. Things like octave reduction or chord reduction. They're all compositional techniques of a kind. And, what would you say about if I arranged the SpongeBob SquarePants theme and I made a continuous variation off of that, right? Because there's sectional variation songs and there's continuous variation songs. There's sectional variation songs is like when you take, when you play like the theme and then you stop and you wait a little bit for a little bit of silence and then you go again, and you may do that like 10 or something times. And that's the most popular thing that classical musicians think when they think theme and variations. But a lot of times a theme and variation, not like a theme and variation, but a continuous variation could just be like an arrangement of a pop song, and they just do the arrangement in like the high kind of octaves and then the lower kind of octaves. But there's just not like a bunch of clear stopping places in the middle of the song. And, is that an arrangement? Are those arrangements? Are those compositions? Which one is more like an arrangement and which one is more like a composition? It's very hard to say. So that was the hard thing. I was struggling to say that, to put that all together in my brain. But yeah, like the lines between what is and is not an arrangement are not so clear cut a lot of the time. And most of the time, there's a little bit of different things going on. There's a little arranging and improvisation mixed together. There's a little arranging and composition mixed together. There's a little arranging and interpretation mixed together. It's very hard to say what's what.
Sure. And speaking of themes, this is a theme that we do a variation on every single podcast, is this conversation right here. So if you want to get super meta, we can go down that road. But
like this podcast, you're saying like this podcast is a theme and we're doing variations on a podcast. Whoa.
Yeah, this topic within the podcast, like what is an arrangement, that's the theme. And then we do a variation every episode, depending on how many string instruments you add or how much stuff you change or how much you compose.
Yes. Now, here's where I draw the line. If you play the banjo, that's it. If you play the banjo, stop. That is all. No.
Those are 8% of the viewer population. That was all banjo guys.
You see up on this wall? You see these guys? See these babies? Not a single banjo in sight. I'll be caught dead before you see me doing the claw hammer. No, I don't know. You got to take a strong stance to rile up the crowd, Toady.
I'm sorry, I get uncomfortable around hate speech.
This is the most political we could get on the show. Guitar politics are very serious. But all right, so you're going 7 lightning bolts, I'm going 5 lightning bolts. Let's see the next one.
All right. So here we have this is above my pay grade.
Yeah. And we're gonna get to see a little bit of the sheet music. But yeah, if you like his version, you should definitely check out his sheet music. That's kind of, one of the things that got me interested in, got me closer to being interested in the planets. Because I don't know if I can chalk it up to one thing that made me decide, hey, spend 3 years arranging the whole hour of music. But I certainly, before I started on the first Mars and Venus, I had a student who brought in an arrangement of the Jupiter theme, and he was like, oh, I really, really, really want to learn this. And I was playing through it, and I was like, this is pretty nice, if this part of the planets can be arranged, why not the other parts? So yeah, if you like this guy's version, you should definitely check it out.
The bringer of Jollity.
It's a lot of chords back and forth. It's so funny how everybody like is doing a different thing rhythmically, but nobody is doing, like what's written.
Yeah, I thought for me the bass was the interesting thing rhythmically here. Like he didn't really keep a consistent idea going the whole time. It kept changing, whether it was like strong on an offbeat or whether it was on every beat. It kind of kept changing. I kept trying to say something about it, and then he kept doing something new.
Yeah, it's tough. With a piece like this, I feel like you can give it a lot of space because it's such a beautiful melody. So I don't know if it's necessary to have so much going on and all the other voices. Yeah, it's so interesting to see what people are adding to this. People are like adding trills, people are adding notes, people are adding rhythms, changing rhythms. It's so different how this is heard in different places. And I think even in Japan, there is like an extremely popular pop version. Yeah, I thought it was nice. Like when he first opened the song and like the first like 10 seconds, I was like, this version is actually very close to mine. Except that it's in G again, but yeah, as it went on, he like added some more stuff, and it's kind of hard when you add so many chords. It's hard to make it melodic. And when you have a piece with a really good melody line, it's not always so necessary to fill up all the bass line and the harmonies and everything like that. But other than that, I thought this was a solid choice. I thought this was a solid playthrough.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I came back here to the score to see because I thought it was going to be in G again, and then I saw the score was in D major, and then I wanted to.
I thought that was interesting. Yeah, I don't really. It's kind of a big change, but you're still getting some G chords in there, I guess. From A flat to D. I almost wonder if these people are finding Thaxted versions that are in more familiar keys. But I have no idea.
Yeah. So what are you gonna rate this one?
I'm gonna go with another 5 lightning bolts.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I think I started the day pretty strong with 6 and 7, so I feel pressured to keep that streak going. So I'm gonna give another 6 lightning bolts to this one.
Yeah, whatever you say, about this piece, this dude's shirt deserves 10 out of 10. Okay, I love that shirt. I wish I had one.
For me, this shirt gives me the vibe that when he went to film this video, he was like, which one of my shirts looks the most like I'm in space? Like I'm from the future and we're playing.
It's kind of shimmery.
Space. Yeah. So got the straight lines and stuff too. All right, let's check out another version. All right, this is one of the older ones from 2010. John Silliman Dodge. All right, so in the description here, he's definitely claiming it is an arrangement of the orchestra classic.
We'll see about that.
So
no, I don't know.
We'll hear if this one has more orchestra influence or not.
Yeah, and I'm unclear as to whether this guy is the arranger exactly of this, because if you see in the description, he says that somebody else. I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, John Dodge. Well,
this is Robert McBride possibly wrote the arrangement, but then it says that they recorded an arrangement with string quartet. So I'm not sure which arrangement he's talking about, but John, let us know if this is your arrangement or if this is a Robert McBride's arrangement. Yeah, we're super curious.
All right. Lovely house.
And, I love the bookcase.
Yeah, and this will be played on a steel string guitar. Is that a pick? Yeah, you can finally see the guitar pick clearly on the close-up.
This guy's got a lot of picking skills.
Yeah, it's really hard to do like full-on chords and a melody at the same time with the pick.
And how he keeps doing the bar D shape either is like, that's hard. Oh, a little coda, little outro composed into there. Nice.
Yeah. No, that was pretty nice.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting how he put it in the key of A again, but this guy has like no fear of difficulty in the left hand because it was still like above 5th fret almost the whole time. And yeah, he's doing all these crazy like chord shapes that are really hard to try to keep it full textured. I can confirm that any full arrangement you do of this, there's going to be some really not so fun chord shapes, especially when you do it in A flat. Let me tell you, there's no way around unpleasant chord shapes in A flat major on the guitar. But yeah, I don't know, this guy could give me a run for my money. Next, he's going to arrange the whole thing for acoustic guitar with a pick. I don't know. He can do those D chord shapes like that. He could do a lot.
I mean, it's interesting with the guitar pick technique. There's a lot of other stuff that you could do to kind of imitate certain orchestral instruments that are maybe a lot harder finger picking on classical guitar. Whereas this is actually probably the hardest thing you could do, like with a guitar pick. This would have been probably much easier to finger pick this arrangement. So it's kind of funny. Like, I feel like he used the pick to his greatest disadvantage here.
Wait, what do you mean his greatest disadvantage?
Well, out of all the things you can do with a guitar pick, and out of all the reasons to use a guitar pick, this is not like one of them. This would be totally finger pickable.
Yeah, you're saying this is like...
Guitar pick's really good for repeated notes and strumming and things like that, which this had basically none of.
Right. Yeah, so you're saying he's kind of doing the hardest thing on a picked guitar, is doing these big chords with a melody. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the hardest thing to do with a guitar pick. I mean, you accidentally hit the wrong string and you miss the melody note. It's like, and you got to jump really far.
Yeah.
That can get tricky.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's almost so tough. I'm like almost considering taking points away. It's so tough because you got to have a playable arrangement. But no, that's too mean. It's pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 7, and I like that he did it just by himself with the there's no bells and whistles, no backing track or anything like that. And it, so far from an easy arrangement, especially left-hand wise and right-hand wise. I think both some obvious difficulties there.
Yeah, I really liked all the musical choices here, and the fact that it is a solo guitar gets big bonus points from me. Yeah, I'm torn between 6 and 7 as well. I guess I'll say 7 as well. Let's do it. We got to give somebody a perfect score today. I mean, this one's definitely seemed like one of the hardest ones, or probably the hardest one.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of difficulty, I definitely say, that's toughest. The toughest one that we've seen today. Yeah, what do we got next?
All right, so now we have Jorge Martini on a fingerstyle solo classical guitar arrangement. Yeah, so in the title he says Gustav Holst, The Planets, and then he's got I Vow to Thee, My Country in the description, so we'll see where the influence really came from. Definitely the fastest one today. And bonus points for using the camera angle I said earlier is the best camera angle for guitar.
Man, I feel like I almost heard somebody whistling the theme in the background while he was playing for that last bit there.
Was that in his version? I thought that maybe your heater was going off or something.
No, yeah. I thought maybe the local what is it, shawarma salesman around Tony was, whistling to him from the streets. Come out, get your lunchykins.
I don't know, maybe that's why he did the tempo so fast here, is his tea was his water was ready to make that tea, so trying to get back into the kitchen.
Yeah, I think that this arrangement is really interesting. I thought a lot of it was actually I think that this one is the most true to the original version. But yeah, I definitely think that you could relax with this one. You could take your time playing through this one. It doesn't need to be played so fast. But I do like that it's 1 minute long. That makes it a nice, quick little song to listen to. So there's like a lot of pros and cons to this video. Yes. Also, Tony, I don't know. Tell me what you think about this. Maybe this isn't even within the realm of being on topic for this podcast, but that thumb just seems so tense and uncomfortable to me. In the left hand. Yeah, in the left hand. I like my thumb like more around, like kind of almost outside my index finger, rather than meeting up with my middle finger or something. It seems like that's what he's doing. And just even doing that right now in my hand and bending my thumb over so it's in between my middle and my ring, that's like painful. I'm going to give myself a Charlie horse in the hand doing that,
Yeah, I mean, I think the technique does look a little bit more uncomfortable than some of the other players. And I don't know. With the thumb, it's tricky. I feel like there's definitely certain situations where I have to bring my thumb in more, but definitely never for like an entire piece or something.
I don't know.
From time to time, but
yeah. Well, I really, really like this arrangement, and I hope that he keeps playing. So hey, buddy, if your hand is hurting, just a tiny scoot, and you'll be feeling a little bit better when you're playing. I don't know. That's my unwarranted advice from the music thief himself. Unwarranted and unsolicited.
nobody was asking to get their arrangements reviewed, so we might as well start talking about people's technique, because they didn't ask for that either.
All right, if I'm wrong, forget about it. I shouldn't be saying any technical things. But yeah, I think that might make his thumb feel a little bit nicer after a long day of practicing if it was held outside of the hand instead of tucked away inside the hand. But overall, his version is way more true to the form. His rhythms are more correct, more spot on. And like when towards the beginning, when he had like the melodies holding and that bass line moving down, no one else has done that like the entire time we've been listening. And that is absolutely in there. That is absolutely in the song. So, he captured something really kind of special that a lot of the other people missed. So, he kind of gets like extra kudos for that in a way. For catching all those details in the score. Yeah, I think I'm going to give it a solid 6 out of 7. This one's one of my favorites.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I guess since I'm not as familiar with the originals and I haven't tried arranging this, I definitely don't remember like exactly what was in there. So for me, I think I'm still going to have to give this one a 5, maybe out of pure ignorance. And I would give it a 6 if you change your strings before you make your next YouTube video. How's that for some unwarranted advice?
I don't know, because I don't like playing with fresh strings as much, especially for a video.
That's true, but I shouldn't be able to see black spots up the entire string.
Oh my gosh! Did you even go to Gigi's concerts when we were in school? Gigi play with a freaking leopard spotted strings, and she'd sound like a freaking god, playing shred and going to town. So you leave this man alone. I'm sticking up for this guy right now. This guy is one of the most true to the form arrangements of them all. But no, I'm sticking up for this guy. I really like this arrangement. This is definitely one of my favorites. Yeah, so that's what I got to say. I'm sticking up for my man Jorge here.
Thank you. All right, so this is tomrasely. How do you think that name is pronounced?
It could be Raisley.
Raisley. All right.
Maybe that's his whole first name, and his middle name is Jupiter, and his last name is Fingerstyle Solo. So his name really is Tom Raisley Jupiter Fingerstyle Solo.
Sure, as long as you don't look at the screen now. That's a good theory. All right, let's check it out.
Just throwing in the harmonics.
For real, like, what is wrong with playing classical with the strap? And how can I make this happen? I'm about ready to make the switch.
I don't know. That would require drilling those like pegs to hold the strap into my guitar. But I remember when I was in high school, my teacher would play like these old DVDs of master classes and other people's schools of technique. And there was one DVD she would play for us where they talked about, there's a faction of classical guitar thought that people should only use straps when they play. And they all had straps with suction cups, huge suction cups on either end, and they stick under the guitar and hold it that way. So you're definitely not alone. A lot of people like straps when they play.
It's like, I'd rather drill a hole in a guitar than have any sort of discomfort in my own body. It's just a piece of wood. I'm way more important than my guitar, I'll say it.
I really genuinely think that standing with a strap is better for some people, and I certainly have some guitar students for whom, like, they're the only ones in my studio that play with a strap, and they only play, like, exclusively with a strap.
Oh, wow, I didn't even notice. 2009. So this is the oldest one of the day.
pretty nice.
So he's added more right-hand arpeggios than the other people. Everybody did it block chord style. People were doing block chords with like rolled chords, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Well, and it's also interesting that because that would fit more if you were doing an arrangement of Thaxted, if you were like taking more of the hymn as the inspiration or the vocal piece as the inspiration. But, that's clearly not what he's doing, especially because that riff in harmonics is not just composed. That's actually a theme from the A and C sections of the Jupiter song, the A and the A prime repeated section, the ba 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 ba. That's what he's taken that theme and actually made a sort of intro and outro for the song from that other theme. So it's interesting to see the different mix of inspirations going on here.
Yeah. So did you like those?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm giving this one a 6 out of 7 rating. Especially for the picture of the guitar in the background. I like that he's got a picture of the guitar in the background while he's playing guitar. We've got a little guitarception happening. Yeah, Tony's like, how does Thomas see that? You might need glasses.
No, I was. It looks super cool. I don't know how well this will show up when you're watching it later on YouTube, but yeah, I like that painting.
It looks like it's got something written on it.
Yeah, I think that to me it looks like there's some birds flying across the strings there.
It looks like. You think they're birds?
I mean, it's 2009 YouTube, so this is probably like 240.
What's this guy's name?
Oh, 480. Wow. Remember tomrasely, Rastley?
No, yeah, it's not that. See, I was thinking maybe it has like silver Sharpie and somebody's written the word Katie over it or something. Is what it looks like to me.
Those aren't letters.
No, they look like letters to me.
Nah,
I need my glasses checked.
I think they're birds, but I could be wrong.
That'd be very
let us know in the comments.
Yeah, dude. Are you affiliated with PRS Guitars?
A lot of these questions that we have in the episode where we just start questioning some random object in the room or whatever. A lot of the guitarists have told me the answers to these questions on Instagram, not on YouTube, but they'll just tell me in the DMs on Instagram. So I know like all the answers to all of the weird questions that we have, and then I never tell Thomas.
We'll have to leave comments on behalf of them in our videos. Hey, just so you guys know, Jason VO said he did that cover of the SpongeBob theme just because he's always been a great fan ever since he was a child.
That's right.
Like, oh, well, that's a very wholesome answer to that question we definitely had at some point.
And he's already expressed big interest in coming on the podcast as a guest.
You can't say that. You can't say that.
As of now, we said no.
Yeah, just in, we're being sued for libel and slander for lying about Jason VO on the podcast.
If anything, calling him a SpongeBob fan is more libel than what I just said. But sure.
No.
Jason VO is in no way affiliated with the podcast, and all right.
And we'll settle it outside of court. All right, next video.
Wait, I didn't rate this one yet. I'm gonna give it.
No, I rated this one. I said 6 out of 7.
Yeah, I'm also gonna give it a 6 out of 7, but I just want to make it official, so you know. And now let's check out the next one. All right, first electric guitar of the day from 2020, Sergio Rowles. Rowles?
I don't know. It could be Rowles. Who knows?
Rowles coming at you from Madrid. Trying to see what kind of guitar that is. I really like the fret inlays. Actually, everything about this guitar is really cool.
This guy's really nailing the, just playing what's written and stuff.
That bass line came through really nice through that section.
Yeah, and that is kind of the chord that it ends on. Yeah.
Because it's going into like another section.
Right.
So because that's why everyone makes their own little coda thing at the end, because that is not the best chord to end on.
Yeah. It's kind of a mysterious chord. It's like, oh, what's coming up next? But yeah, it normally does end up on that big sort of mysterious chord there. Now, I also saw that this guy has no comments on his video. That's just ridiculous, because this one is the most true to the form so far. So I gotta get my phone that I threw across the room on the carpet here.
So what should we say? Should we give him his lightning bolt score in the comments?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give this guy a 6 out of 7 for sure, at the least. Are you gonna comment with the Guitar Rangers podcast YouTube account? Wow, that is so official. I was gonna use the Music Thief account. But yeah, comment on that and be like, this is the most true to the form Jupiter theme yet. Thank you, sir. Wow, don't say thank you. I was saying thank you, sir, to you, Tony. I was saying you were the sir I was thanking. Maybe we should say good job.
Let's give him the lightning bolts scores.
Give him the 6 out of 7.
I'm gonna give this one a 7.
Okay, give him 7 out of 7. We're rounding up.
Rounding up? Oh, 6
We're rounding up. 7 out of 7. Yeah, and it's the only electric guitar one. Well, there's the only sort of semi-hollow body electric guitar one.
The electric tone sounds really good on this guitar. I imagine he filmed this with maybe a microphone or maybe not. So that's always harder. I'm sure that guitar sounds really nice in person.
Yeah,
it's harder to record an electric guitar with mics, I think, than a classical guitar.
Yeah, well, this is really cool. This is nice, and I thought this was really true to the form, and I thought this was really similar to parts of my version of the theme. I thought he was really true to the form there. I thought he was really true to the the thinness of just having a low voice and a high voice. That's very much how it is. In part of that middle section. So I thought that was really true to that.
Yeah, very nice. Cool. Let's check out another one. Thank you, Sergio. Oh boy. 6-string Steve. I like that name.
You see this Aldi? They've got this it's kind of like sparkling water. Yeah, it's flavored sparkling water. But it's not like that LaCroix where it tastes like they rub a lemon on the outside of the can and like there's your lemon flavor. This is like
that's my
soda. That's nasty. But this is like full on like soda, but it has no sugar.
That's why I don't like that version. LaCroix is awesome. Let's not even get into this debate right now.
You are insane.
Yes.
But yeah,
sorry,
let's finish this up.
I'm not 6 years old. I don't my beverages to taste like root beer.
You are roasting me right now. Holy
get my sticky fingers.
Okay.
All right.
Also,
so
okay, never mind. Go ahead.
Why were you gonna skip this one or what?
No, I don't know. It says that the arrangement is by Jason something or other.
I was just about to point that out. Yeah. Well, so all right. So here we got 6-string Steve, which is definitely one of my favorite YouTube names that we've seen so far. It says the arrangement is by Jason Waldron. I could not find a video on YouTube of Jason Waldron playing this, so 6-string Steve is going to have to be Jason Waldron's advocate. So,
he's the stand-in.
Yep. So we are going to assume that this is exactly what Jason had in mind, and we'll just judge it from there. So here we go. I actually really like the way these basses sound on this recording setup. Normally, I'm not a big fan of recording this way with a plugged into the guitar.
Very cool. This one is, it's pretty standard. This one doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles. I think it's more or less true to the form. It seems like they emphasized having like big chords rather than really capturing what was going on in the score. And by them, I mean not this guy that you see here, but the Jason dude who arranged it. Because it doesn't have any of that counter motion that the last couple ones had, where they had like some of those bass lines kind of going while the melody was holding.
It had one descending bass line at the end there.
Yeah. But I'd like to hear a little bit more of that kind of stuff. Overall, I think it's a solid kind of arrangement, and this guy does a nice job of playing it.
Yeah, I think it really. To me, I really like it when they play it very powerfully like this. So this was definitely one of the more powerful ones today. So I think it really comes across the way I have it in my head. It sounds better with more power.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to be add-ons with our ratings again, because I'm going to go with a 5 on this one. Yeah. 5 lightning bolts.
I think I'll give it a... I think I'll give it a 6. I think the playing was very good, even though that's not what we're rating. We're not even rating 6-string Steve, but I liked the playing a lot, actually. I think having it be like super epic like that works much better for me. I would like to hear a classical guitar recorded with microphones version of this arrangement. That would probably be even better. But all right, so shall we check out the last one? I think there's only one more.
Next up, we have Axelle Bernard playing her arrangement of the Jupiter theme on a C10 parlor. She's letting us know. That's what kind it is. the C10s, for the people that don't know, the Cordoba guitars, they have like, a C1 that's like $100, a C3 that's like $300, a C5, a C7, and yeah, so she spent a pretty penny on this guitar.
I see a koala in the background too. I'm normally not one for discussing the rooms in detail, but koala really got me there. All right, let's check it out.
She got some nice little editing and stuff. And there's that counter motion. I like it. Seems like she's in drop D or something like that. Yeah, it's a lot of chords. It's really tough.
Also, it just occurred to me, nearly every video we watched today seemed to be one-taked. She cut camera angles as soon as I said that, but I still think so.
I still think the audio has been one-taked. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it's funny. This is like the most full textured one we've heard.
Yeah, that might have been the hardest one of the day, I think. Definitely the hardest left-hand arrangement we've seen today. For better or for worse. I think if maybe a couple of the notes had been taken out and the rhythm had been a little stronger, I think that would have helped more than having those extra notes in there and making it like so difficult to get to every chord shape in time.
Yeah, it's so tough to know what to do when you have something that's so full textured as like an orchestra and there's 12 different instruments playing 12 different notes, but you don't have 12 strings. You only got 6, so you got to figure it out. And you can't do 6 strings for everything, because then it's impossible to play, and you can't show the contrast when the textures grow and get softer. That's one of the easiest dynamic tools that we have on guitar, is just adding more strings or more notes, or taking some away. So if you were going to take away notes from this, then you should take them away from the weaker beats, you know? You should take them away from the off beats, and you should take them away from beats 2 and 3 rather than beat 1, right? Because this is in 3. Yeah, this is in 3. So take the shave a little bit off of 2 and 3 if you feel like you need to take anything away. That's where it should be taken away from, and then you can still kind of keep that same full texture effect, and make it a little easier on yourself at the same time.
So what are you thinking here then?
I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 6 because this is the most. I think this is the most difficult.
Yeah. I mean, we said the acoustic guitar player with the pick at the time, he had the most difficult one. I think this one might be a little bit more difficult than that one even. But I think he managed to play his arrangement a little bit cleaner rhythmically. So I think if this one had done that, I would be more convinced. So I'll just say a 6 as well, but it has potential, I believe.
Yeah, overall, a lot of cool arrangements. It's so funny how, even though this is a very widely recorded and very, there's a lot of sheet music out there for this. It's open domain. It's, you can find the sheet music easily without buying it. But, it's still, all these arrangements are still coming out so differently per each person, so differently. And I hope you will all compare them with the next version that y'all are about to hear, which is the version that, created by yours truly, the Music Thief version.
That's right.
And see, it's because my version is even a little different from these ones. And part of that is because I'm doing the full song and not just the middle section, but even my middle section is very different as a result of having things on either side of it. Thanks for sticking around to the end. If you like what you saw, please leave us a like and subscribe. Let us know in the comments if you have a favorite arrangement from today's episode or if we missed one.
Big thank you to all the guitarists we talked about today. Be sure to check their videos out. You can find the links in the description below on YouTube.